Welcome back to McChats here on McGTV, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMcGTV. And also follow my guest, Mr. Jason Furie, at his own great geek website, of which I contribute some articles here and there, neverendingradicaldude.com. It's a great website full of great features. And Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's in store for both the website and other great features you're going to add in this new year?
Right on. So Never Ending Radical Dude just kickstarted a Patreon page, which is just kind of a way for fans to support us and help us grow. And our milestones are kind of all revolved around making more video and podcasting content. We have a lot more videos on the site now, and we have a lot of exclusive stuff on the Patreon page itself. And hopefully in the first week or two of April, we're going to have our very own ongoing nerd podcast, which hopefully you'll be a guest on several times.
Mm-hmm.
Forever.
So long as the voice is willing.
That's right. Well, yeah, other than that, we just got, our top 10 list, which you're a part of with your top 10 movies and a couple movie reviews. March is a big month. It's like a summer month. It's like all the studios were like, let's just beat the rush, and they all thought it and didn't tell each other. So we get like Kong and Power Rangers and Logan and Life and all these like huge movies, Beauty and the Beast, Ghost in the Shell later this Friday. So it's a crazy summer month in March.
It seems like they keep bumping it up more and more every year. Like I remember back in 2014. It was like April was the big month because that's when Captain America Winter Soldier came out and Fast and Furious, yeah.
I think in the near future, we're just going to have big budget movies all year round. I think a lot of it's to do with this superhero genre blast that we've gotten. There's just so many properties that are getting made that they have to spread them out. They can't all be in the summer.
And that kind of sort of touches into our topic for today. But first up, again, check out Never Ending Radical Dude. Check out that Patreon page. Definitely, I'll put a link in the description. And you can contribute whatever amount you're comfortable with and get some great exclusive features, I believe, with different levels of donation. And it's all being funneled towards creating great online content for you as a geek connoisseur. So
that's right. And it's why my voice is so crystal clear right now. I bought a new mic with our first month of Patreon money, and hoping to get another mic and a mixer next month so I can get some like live guests with me. It can be as little as $1 a month or as much as you want. You can set your price if you want, and just buy us a cup of coffee once a month. It'll go a long way. Every bit helps.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the quality content and the quality audio coming to you right now from Jason. Let's dive into a little bit about movie franchises, a little bit about movie marketing, because this is something I've been curious about for a while now, especially like as you mentioned with how all the big comic book properties or all the big studios seem to now have a lot of their corporate fingers in several pies, as it were.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. I can't paint a picture like that.
There's got to be a better way to say it.
Let's see.
Their fingers are just sticky with pie.
Squish.
I don't even know. I'm sorry. I made it worse.
Nah, it's okay. You got to enhance the experience, especially now that we got great audio going on here.
Oh yeah, it's like you're sitting right in front of my face. Talking about sticky pie.
Let's see how all the big studios and corporations are really, really well prepared for their end results, for their products. And it seems like they take several years ahead of time to let you know how great their product is going to be. That when you go to the final film, whether it's good or whether it's bad, you feel, I don't know if you felt this way, I feel like I've gone into both great movies and terrible movies with a whole lot of baggage already attached to it due to all the hype surrounding certain projects and all of the, I don't know, unnecessarily transparent marketing that takes place. I think it's a huge product of just the social media networks that we're all kind of consuming day in and day out. And, we are watching TV, we're on our computer, we're on our phones, we're out and about, so we're just blasted. It's like studios just want to cover us every, it's on snack foods, it's on trailers, it's on
the sides of buses. It's just everywhere. They just want to blast it with you. There's really nowhere safe anymore. And you're right. It's sometimes a year or two before the movie even comes out. So you really have to kind of temper your excitement and expectations anymore, because if you get really excited a year in advance for a movie, you're going to be thinking about it for that entire year, just building it up, And
it's especially, I feel, kind of difficult for us, since you and I oftentimes report on geek-related stuff or geek culture or movie culture. Like, you have a whole website dedicated to stuff like this.
Yeah, well, that's probably the biggest downfall is, it's not really making it a business because, we do it kind of for fun, but it's definitely the me before Never Ending Radical Dude would maybe watch one trailer and then stop, because, the point of a movie trailer, for example, is to get you to buy a ticket, right? That's really all there is to it.
Right.
And I don't need a trailer for Star Wars or any Marvel movie or any DC movie. I'm going to go see those no matter what. But I do want to get a sense of like what's going on. But there's 1, 2, 3, headlines on a lot of these websites are like, third trailer is not to be missed. And I'm just like, geez, like how many? Like, I love it. But by the time I get in the theater, everything that was really, really big that happened is pretty much in those, or at least alluded to in those trailers.
Yeah, you already know plot point A, B, C, D based off of the fact that it's been covered ad nauseum in like 4 different trailers or TV spots.
Yeah, and I won't spoil too much, but I think the most recent product of this is Kong Skull Island. If I just saw one little snippet and then watched that movie, I think I would have liked it way more than I did. Now, I liked it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I still reviewed it on our website. I think I gave it a solid 8. It's still I think it's an awesome movie and it's a fun experience. But everything that was really big, there's nothing really other than what I saw in those trailers. Those trailers showed an awful lot.
Your wow factor kind of diminished a little.
Yeah, because if I didn't see half those creatures before they appeared, or if I didn't see him kind of destroying some of these helicopters and stuff, I would have loved to see that for the first time on the big screen. That would have been awesome. And shame on me. I watched all the trailers and I got really excited for it, and I built it up, and those trailers started pouring out, and the teaser images long time ago. So it's just kind of it's kind of to the point where it's almost hurting the longevity of my interest in a movie. I'm just into it for a lot less time,
Yeah, and it's a funny thing you brought up Kong Skull Island, because a lot of the marketing associated with that movie made me reminisce quite a bit about... Remember the analog days when we'd actually have to go to the movie theater and see the trailer attached to the movie, and that was our only way to see it?
Yeah, and that was a big part of going to the movies. You didn't want to miss the trailers. Now, you'll catch people saying, oh, we don't need to get there. We can be 10 minutes late, because they're going to play a ton of trailers that we've already seen a billion times online. So again, it just rolls back to that social media marketing and just kind of blasting us with these images. So really, the trailers in the theater aren't really that interesting anymore.
Yeah, I was trying to think too on this particular subject and go back, and I remember in 92 or early 93, I want to say, before Jurassic Park came out, the first one, and what we got was very, compared to today's standards, is relatively tame, and that was the big event movie of the 90s, probably one of the big event movies of the 90s, is that you got this very simple teaser that set up the premise. I don't know if you ever saw it. It was the close-up of the lab and the microscope.
Yeah, I remember.
You saw the mosquito and amber, and that's all you had except for a dinosaur roaring in the background and a narrator saying an adventure 65 million years in the making or whatever from Steven Spielberg. Yeah,
and go on YouTube and check out the first trailer for Alien or Jurassic Park, like you said, and just compare it to what we get now. And I think you'll see a pretty huge difference, because I was kind of going back and looking at some old trailers, and I think the big difference is teasers versus trailers. I'm 100% down for teasers, getting me pumped about the concept of the movie.
Yeah.
But like Justice League trailer came out, you and I both covered it. You did a write-up on Nerd, and then I did a reaction video.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that movie's about. I just saw probably half the action sequences, but I don't know what the plot is. But, these teasers kind of gave you some sense of what was going to happen and what we were going to be doing, and then kind of hooked me to go see the film. But anymore, it's just like, check out all these awesome scenes that are in the movie, and then I don't learn anything about the movie.
Well, or it goes the opposite way. Speaking of Justice League, like last year's Batman v Superman, when you had that first trailer that was just kind of setting up, okay, here's going to be the big point of conflict.
The Comic-Con trailer?
Yeah, it had the radio and news anchors and stuff just talking back and forth about Superman. But then you had the trailer that they cross-promoted with Jimmy Kimmel, I believe, which shows everything that happens. Doomsday, and spoilers, I guess. Doomsday shows up. And
Wonder Woman, Doomsday, Yeah.
It's like they really blew their load on that second trailer, or maybe it was a second or third trailer, but it felt like, okay, well, there goes probably the one big surprise, whether I like it or not. That would have been surprising to me, and you just showed it to me.
It's just kind of like these companies, it's almost like they wear it on their sleeve anymore. They just want you to buy the ticket, and then they don't care about the experience anymore. They're just like, buy a ticket, okay, got them, next, I would have loved to discover Doomsday in the theater, or see that Wonder Woman shows up in the theater,
Right.
That would have been epic. That would have made the whole experience better, and I think it would have made the franchise in a little bit higher standing than it is right now with people, because I think you're right. A lot of the disappointment we have in these big budget movies is we've just seen so much of it before we even get to the theater. And we're just sitting there going, oh, when are they going to show up? Instead of, oh my God, they showed up,
And it does color your perspective on it somewhat, even before you've seen the whole thing start to finish. And maybe your opinion changes, or maybe it doesn't. But I want to bring up a particular movie that I know you and I have, I don't know if you still have the same opinion of it now, a year or so after the fact, but Terminator Genesis.
Okay.
Now, I personally didn't care for Terminator Genesis. I believe what I said to the fact was I've never really cared for any of the Terminator movies after Judgment Day, and I kind of wish he'd stopped there. And I know what they were trying to do with it, get it back on track, but it wasn't serving that purpose for me. And part of it was because in their, I believe, last trailer, they showed what was going to be essentially a big plot twist regarding John Connor.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That disappointed me for sure. That aspect of it. That twist should have definitely been in the theater, and they could have easily hidden that from people.
But I know also you I believe you reviewed the movie, right?
I don't think anyone else even watched it besides you and I.
Yeah,
because people were so burnt out from the Terminator franchise. But here's my take on it. I'm a big Terminator fan. Obviously as a big action movie buff, it's got a lot of influence on me, and I kind of look at Terminator now that I've had a few years to think about it. Genesis is kind of like the Superman Returns of that franchise. It's more of an ode to the first two successful movies,
right?
Rather than like a proper sequel that kind of acknowledges everything. Because you could watch Terminator 1, 2, and then Genesis, and they would go together very well. And I think that was very planned that way. They wanted to bring people back. We're living in an era where nostalgia is king again, and they want you to remember the good movies by watching movies that are kind of like them. Right. So, I kind of fell into that trap. I'll admit it, because I'm a little biased when it comes to Terminator. I liked Terminator 3, and I liked the other one, Salvation, was called. I thought they were fun movies, because my expectations for them aren't that high. I want to see Schwarzenegger kick a robot's butt, and I want to see cool special effects, and just kind of see how they reimagine each character. So my expectations aren't that high. It's probably my third favorite Terminator movie, just because it did kind of harken back to those originals a lot. And
as you've heard, we have very different opinions on this particular film, but at the same time, I think we can agree that, you know what? You probably shouldn't have shown us that stuff that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. That definitely lessened my experience. Yeah. Like, seeing that twist definitely made the movie worse, because the whole time you're just thinking, when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? And it wasn't surprising at all.
When you're anticipating, and not in the best way possible, like a turn, just because they happened to throw it in there. Yeah. But I also realized you went back and reviewed some older trailers too. They've been doing that with this franchise for a while, like the big not twist in Judgment Day, but the whole idea that he's sent back now to protect as opposed to kill. Again, spoilers for a film from, 91? But
I mean, yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm not sure. You're probably 14 years old or something. I don't know.
But I remember that trailer, that came out where he's like, once he was sent back to kill him, now he's sent back to protect him, or something like that. And he does the "come with me if you want to live" line. I look back and I'm like, wow, if they had never made that trailer, imagine how surprised the audiences in 91 would have been when the first scene of him and Robert Patrick squaring off. Because at that point you think maybe Robert Patrick's the hero. But no, it takes the surprise out of it a little bit. To have that kind of
plus
material.
they're so deep, they can't really be like, first he was there to harm them, then he was there to protect them, then he was there to protect them, then to harm them, and now maybe to protect them, but probably to harm them, but maybe not. It'd be like, it's so like convoluted at this point.
And this time, he's gonna just sit and watch and see what happens.
This time he comes back and decides to just open up a coffee shop and stay out of it. But like, what else are they going to do?
Yeah, it's along those lines of, save a little bit for us.
Yeah.
I feel that not only just applies to trailers. First of all, here's one trend I wish they would knock off, and Justice League is the most recent perpetrator of this. The teaser for the teaser.
Right. Oh, that's so stupid. It's like 4 seconds.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Batman. Oh, it's done. Oh, tomorrow? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like tune in Saturday for a tease that will lead to a real trailer in 5 weeks. What? No.
Or it's like, check out Batman here. Check out the teaser. Coming soon at 11:30 on Jimmy Kimmel.
Batman's on a gargoyle or something like that. It's like... cool, but like, I don't know. Yeah, a teaser for a trailer is just stupid.
I have to wonder, it's like, are execs like that? I mean, I guess it is getting the views. We are so, I don't know why we're so starved for it now, but in this day and age, but people are starved for first looks and things of that nature, and announcements galore. And it's not just with trailers, but the idea of save some surprises, like Josh Brolin as Thanos. How cool would it be that I would not know he's Thanos until he shows up in Guardians. Yeah, or he shows up in the after credit or something like that. But then they just, now these days, I know they need material for big Comic-Con, gatherings, but the fact that, like, meet our new Thanos, Josh Brolin. He'll strut his stuff in 2018.
I mean, that's a little bit harder to hide just because it's it is a casting call. It's like that he is a main character, so they're going to want to, like, kind of hype it up and have him interview and go on the circuit,
Right. But I mean,
it's more
the idea of like hyping up stuff. Does he really need to be on the press circuit for a Marvel movie at this point, 2 years ahead of the fact? Or how about when it's actually getting like critical reviews and then you hit the press junkets, a month or so before the film?
Yeah, definitely. And then what gets me is like one of the big things, I don't know, it's not really, it's just part of the marketing. It's when they're like, get ready for the next Matrix or the next Star Wars or the next something. Like, I hate it when people do that. That's just like admitting that you're not original.
Oh,
like,
the comparisons.
So I don't know. I see that all the time. I like, I have like Equilibrium on DVD and it's like smack on the front. It's just like blows the Matrix out of the water. Like, it's competing with it. It's like they're not even competing. Why would you, like, is that what people really want? Like, I want a movie that's going to make Matrix bad. Like, no. Like, I almost wouldn't want to watch something that said that.
Now, see, there's certain films that when they do kind of tout, those very high standards or those highfalutin, like, statements, it's kind of charming. Like, let's say like a Roger Corman B movie, when it does something like that, I'm like, oh, you guys are having fun. There's no way this is going to blow.
If it's for a B movie, that's fine. But it's like, if it's like a major studio release that's just trying to, like, I think it's kind of the culture we live in too. It's really hard for people to like give something a compliment without bashing something else.
Right.
It's just a pattern I've been seeing lately. But there are a few movies. I think, I don't know, there's not that many, but I can think of a few, like the Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
I was thinking about those, and those movies always come out of nowhere, and they don't show us anything. And I think I really respect that about those films, because they just do what they want. They keep it under wraps, and then they give you cool, like, internet marketing, but they don't reveal any, like, plot points or twists or turns. I really enjoyed 10 Cloverfield Lane, probably more than most sci-fi movies last year, or maybe that was 2 years ago. Because I didn't know anything going into it.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like those trailers, at least for 10 Cloverfield Lane, I remember them hitting a month and a half before the actual movie was out. And they were the most memorable trailers because I was like, you were absolutely right. Where did this come from?
Yeah, because they didn't advertise it for 7 years before they came out with it, and they didn't talk about making it. They just made their movie, and there's big names in it, and it's high production values with a great team behind and on camera. So it's just like, that's how you should do it. I mean, that's kind of old school, you know?
Right.
So I would definitely like to see more of that, because, you know, when you think of Batman vs. Superman or Kong or Suicide Squad, or like, it's just so much build up.
Right.
And I would even give credit to Star Wars. You would think that would be the most like blasted thing, but they actually do a decent job of not revealing a lot.
Yeah, Force Awakens, they kept a lot of their cards close to the vest with the marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't predict most of that movie. Like, who knew it would be just like A New Hope? I could never have guessed that.
Yeah, it was
watching the trailer.
They show you like highlights definitely to hook you in and to really grab that sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, but they just like blast you with sounds and a couple images, like iconic images. Like, granted, they have a lot more cards to play with and a lot more nostalgia to work on because they can just do a simple sound or a simple like shot of a stormtrooper to get you excited.
Right.
But I gotta give them credit for being Disney Marvel owned property. They could be blasting that out with their budget like nobody's business, but they keep it tight.
And you mentioned a couple of like big comic book properties that really build up anticipation and ultimately fizzles out a little bit.
Yeah.
Stuff like, let's say, first of all, one of the most recently effective movies for me was Logan. Like, if this year continues on, it's already in my top 10 for the year.
Me too. Yeah, I mean the bar is set for sure.
If not my number one right now, it's going to take a lot for something to kind of knock it out of that spot. But
yeah, I've seen a lot of movies this year, and it's number one so far. And there's I think I've seen like 7 or 8 movies, and that's definitely number one right now.
For an X-Men movie, I mean, it doesn't have all the X-Men, of course, but for a movie in that franchise, it is surprisingly reserved in its marketing. 2 trailers, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give away the story. I mean, it shows you the basic idea of what you're going to be following, who you're going to be following. It doesn't give away, like, certain plots or certain plot elements. It doesn't tell you how it's going to end. Even though you might have a feeling of how it's going to end, you don't get confirmation of that in the marketing. So when it happens, you're genuinely invested still. I feel that worked really well. But then there's also marketing that can play to the strength of the franchise or the character. Like, let's say Deadpool. I love the marketing from Deadpool. The marketing from Deadpool should be its own movie.
That's true. Yeah, and like think about, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I loved Prometheus. And all that David 8 stuff that they marketed before, you'd have a website and they would tell you about that model of android or robot, and kind of get you immersed in the universe without actually showing you the movie. So they're just kind of like putting a commercial out for this new robot, and it's just so awesome. Like that really gets me into it because it's world building before the movie even comes out.
Or they're trying to do that a little bit with Alien Covenant. I know they released they
did another similar video for it.
Yeah, short films more or less,
like really, David 9 or something.
Yeah. It's still working at that point, but also that franchise that's been around for a while, you kind of know, maybe not the details, but basic premise and setup of what you're gonna get in that film. And I'm okay
but then
with
Covenant,
that.
On the flip side, they still did what I liked with the online marketing, but I mean, the latest trailer shows way too much.
It shows the alien in full daylight.
Yeah, like on the ship and stuff. And I'm like, in like the shower scene and stuff, it's like they've already showed a lot of that movie. So like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not posting anything else on that movie. I'm done. Like, I'm going to go into that movie because it's aliens. I'm going to go see it.
Like, as soon as you see a body twitching in that trailer, like, well, I shouldn't invest in that actor probably. I know who dies first, in other words. Yeah,
and like Ghost in the Shell too. It's like, I'm done watching trailers for that because I'm sold already. I want to see it, but there's so much footage out there right now, and they're doing these long spots on TV now too. It's like, I was watching The Walking Dead, and it's like, and now watch a few minutes of Ghost in the Shell, and they put the first 5 minutes online of the movie. It's like, come on.
They do that for shows like all across the board. Like, I don't know if you still follow Flash on CW or not.
Yeah, I still do.
But the past couple of weeks, when they were building up to, granted, some very melodramatic stuff, but it's supposed to be really heavy resonant stuff that's taking place in the show, and then they have a promo for the Flash Supergirl crossover 2 weeks later, that's happening 2 weeks later, but they're saying it's like, it's all glitz and glamour here. It's all happy-go-lucky. And you're like, well, that undercuts any kind of tension you were building up for what's going on right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm definitely on that boat with that series right now, but I think there's a lot behind the scenes with a show like Flash is, without spoiling a lot, it does deal with, different universes and parallel dimensions, and that kind of rips drama out of a show, to be honest, because the characters can so easily come back if they do die.
Well, characters do come back, yeah.
I mean, if it's kind of like the joke we've said before. It's like, if you die, you're going into Legends of Tomorrow. Good job. So it's like they're going to keep everybody employed, and they're going to be on some type of CW show. They still have versions of the original Black Canary. She just keeps popping up over and over, just different versions of her. I'm just like, geez. Like,
I mean, that's how Tom Cavanaugh is getting a salary, is just keep
I know, it's
exploring
just different versions
Earths.
of them. Which, that looks like a fun role to play, though. I mean, that's done fine because it's kind of a ham-fisted approach.
It's aware. It's very self-aware.
It's meta.
And like I was saying, that's what the great thing is about certain type of marketing or certain type of ways things are set up. Like Deadpool. Deadpool is very self-aware. It's a property that's supposed to be meta. So when he is like doing Australia Day announcement or these little viral videos, I enjoy those more than the generic trailers. And I hope we don't get generic
what
trailers
came out for Logan. Definitely was cool.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. It has nothing to do with the actual movie, I'm sure, but it's a fun little tease and gets your anticipation for the next installment, definitely. But at the same time isn't saying like, oh, well, here's what the story's going to be.
I mean, that's a good way to do it. That's what I would do if I were these studios.
So you mentioned a little bit with regards to like the Cloverfield films and some marketing that these days hits a good balance for, I guess, bigger franchises, especially now that every studio and every company wants to have their own whatever verse. Like they want to have shared property universes now. King Kong's going to be doing that. I don't know if Ghostbusters is still doing it or not.
Oh, with like Men in Black or something? Or no, that was 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a 21 Jump Street, Men in Black, Ghostbusters universe at some point.
Yeah, that's weird. The Mummy with Tom Cruise coming out is going to be part of a shared MonsterVerse, I hear.
Yep. Universal Monster.
Yeah,
Avengers.
Like Frankenstein, the Mummy, and vampires, werewolves, all that stuff.
Yeah, but in this day and age where they're announcing those ideas way before any actual solid footage has been shot.
Yeah, we're not going to get any of those like Kong, Godzilla movies. We still have a whole nother Godzilla movie before that happens, and then who knows, Mothra and whatever other ones they announced. I'm like half aware of those kaiju creatures. Like I know like maybe half of them, but I don't know. That's not going to happen for probably 4 years, and they're already advertising it.
It just made me curious. Like, have they always been this transparent with their timetable? I just remember, maybe it was because I wasn't as in the know about movie news or the way things are run with regards to studios and marketing, but I don't recall them like just laying out the next 10-year plan for everyone to see.
Yeah, that was totally a Marvel move. Like they gambled big time. Like that could have gone really bad, but they just said, you know what, we got to do all or nothing, and they went with their 10-year plan with these Avengers movies, and it took a minute, because, I mean, if you remember, when Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk came out, there weren't that many people on board, and then if you remember, Iron Man 2 came out, and it was kind of a dud with the fans, so they kind of lost a lot of momentum if you're in that, like, year pocket,
Yeah.
But the whole time, they were still building it, and they still committed to their plan. They didn't, like, switch gears, which is, I think, what DC does a lot. If something doesn't work, they say, oh, wait, let's do it this way. Oh, wait, no, that didn't work. Let's do it this way. Marvel just followed through, and they acknowledged that there's going to be ups and downs, but we just need to get to this Avengers movie, and we'll show people what we got. And it paid off huge. So now I think everybody's scrambling to catch up, but you can't really catch up when Marvel's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, it was the blessing and the curse, because as a fan of the characters, definitely, it is, you get a little excitement to be like, Black Panther, finally, yay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, Black Panther, finally, I gotta wait until 2018. I'm gonna be hearing about this movie for the next 3 years.
And they still, even though Marvel never planned a solo, like, female movie in all that time until, what is it, Captain Marvel, I think?
Yeah, with Brie Larson. Yeah.
Okay, after 10 years, then we can make a movie with starring a woman. Like, come on. So at least DC's got Wonder Woman jamming out.
Yeah, I'm gonna give DC that. It's like that's the really big like pioneering move. It's the first, honestly, it feels like the first legitimate move they've made that feels genuine. Like you said, it feels like DC is just kind of going with the flow of whatever Marvel does to try and match their style, like Suicide Squad. It's our Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever.
Yeah, they're just like almost straight copying the formula, but hitting the fast forward button. So they're trying to get where Marvel is at now, minus the 10 years of work to get there. So
I'll give them props. It's like Wonder Woman could turn out to be a disaster. Who knows? It could turn out to be great, but I'm going to give them props that at least they took a chance and said, let's beat them to the punch on this one. Let's place a fair degree of investment in a female-led superhero movie.
Yeah. Well, and think about Suicide Squad. I mean, that's totally a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just DC has stronger female characters. I don't know. It's possible.
Well, we'll see. But that's the thing. It's like we're not even at Wonder Woman yet, and already it's like, don't forget about Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
What is that, like 2019 or something? Or 18? I don't even know.
Who knows? I don't even know if they started filming yet.
They showed that like test footage of underwater and like how they're going to do that.
Oh, see, I'm glad I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was something like, I think Zack Snyder showed us like some test footage of what it's going to look like while they're underwater. Well, like, or somebody, I don't remember who's directing it, but
well, remember when they released that test footage of, what was his name, Deathstroke for the Batman movie, and now it's like the Batman movie may
but
or
now they're
may
saying
not
he
be
might
happening.
not even be in the movie.
Yeah, it's like, well, what's the point?
Oh man, it's just Ben Asshat. It's just he's ruining this franchise, man.
I mentioned in my not in the Never Ending Radical Dude article, but in the video review that it seemed, I can't tell if Ben Affleck's in character or not, but or if Batman's just really, really tired of this shit. But,
yeah.
like, if you're playing just crotchety Batman, good on you, Ben. But part of me feels like that's just Ben being like, I want out.
Yeah, I don't like to usually give in to the internet kind of rambling and raving, but everything I've seen just from a production side, it's just this Batman stuff's a mess right now. And it's really disappointing because that's like their number one hero. Like, who's cooler than Batman? I mean, some would argue Superman, but I mean, there's the most potential in Batman, especially with his rogues gallery and all. There's just unlimited potential for this. And
even when they're trying to tout up Superman, he's overshadowed by Batman. in its own movie.
Batman vs Superman should have been Man of Steel 2. I would have much rather seen Man of Steel 2 with a more focused plot on Clark's journey instead of what we got, which was just a glorified like action sequence for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's like he felt more like an afterthought in his film. Well, it's funny we talk about all the drama, because that's another part of the hype that I'm kind of over. It's this stuff especially that when I go into a movie-going experience, I feel there is a lot of burden on me for knowledge and so forth. Like, when that Batman movie does finally come around, I'm going into it knowing that this thing has been through a meat grinder for 3 years plus.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with it, but I don't know. I just think, it's hard. Like, I don't even have words for like how frustrated I am with the DC universe, because I'm sure you're like me. You want to like this franchise, and I give it more credit than most people do, but I can't sit here and say it's amazing and it's awesome. Like, I definitely feel like I like it more than most people, but that's only because most people hate it. And
you mentioned this way at the beginning, the idea of like, well, on social media now, in so many different outlets, it's hard to not hear insider news or to hear rumors that eventually turn out to be either false or legit. And this is not just limited to DC stuff. Like, that Batman movie may turn out to be the best Batman film we've ever got, but you go with all this stuff that we've had in the past couple months of like, is Affleck in? Is he out? Where's the script? Is there a script? They don't have a script. You go in being like, man, this thing, it's had a rough road to get here. You can't help but have that in your mind when you're watching the movie.
Yeah. And then what about, is Life a Venom prequel?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's like people are setting up these movies to fail, because like, okay, if it's not a prequel to Venom, it's stupid, you know? It's like, it's like a high concept sci-fi movie. Just go to the movie and enjoy it, you know?
Even the successful films, Like, I got two examples here. Ant-Man. I enjoyed Ant-Man greatly, but knowing that originally Edgar Wright was helming that project and knowing that he left due to creative differences, you can't help but wonder, what would have that movie been like with Edgar Wright at the helm? I liked what we got, definitely, but it's very safe. Edgar Wright, I was like, wow, that would have been stylistically, I wonder what that would have been like. And you can't help but wonder that when you're watching a perfectly serviceable Ant-Man movie or Civil War. Imagine seeing the trailer with Spider-Man for the first time, not knowing that Sony had made a deal with Marvel.
That would have been epic.
Yeah.
That would have been so... I mean, the trailer was epic and that announcement was epic, but yeah, they could have easily kept that a secret because nobody saw it coming. Nobody even thought it was a possibility. Yeah, that was a big missed opportunity. If I was sitting in the theater watching... Granted, you'd have to be there, like, because, you know, they show these movies so early to reviewers and to different, like, the beans would have been spilt at some point. So I guess it's just we live in an environment where it's near impossible.
Yeah, because even though I know they try to do their best to lock down secrets, but there's always going to be one person out there, especially in this day and age of internet anonymity.
Anything. There's no room for secrets.
Yeah, someone's going to, you know, violate their NDA agreement and be like, dude, this movie sucks.
Do you think this is why M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong doesn't have a job anymore?
Here's the thing.
There might be some truth to that.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan, I'm a big fan of his movies, even though I just called him Shyamalama Ding Dong like an idiot.
It's a common mistake.
You know, it's all the big twists and turns that he has. I really appreciate that. He had a signature style that most directors lack. And I just don't think a movie of his ilk could survive in the current climate of movies and trailers and prequels and teasers. I just don't know.
Have you seen Split?
No, I haven't.
It was
some
surprising.
twists.
The thing is that I wasn't really concerned about a twist at that point. I was more invested in like, wow, James McAvoy's doing a great job in this movie. And then came a twist, and then I was like, oh, well, that's pleasant. And that's the thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I think Airbender was the last movie I saw that he directed. I'm thinking more like, you know, Sixth Sense and Signs and Unbreakable era.
I feel you can still have those movies, but again, I think he's doing something right now that can ensure that it's not ruined for someone before they go in, because he's got to deal with like Blumhouse and things like that, and they're about lower budgets, but at the same time, lower budgets.
Like you said, Cloverfield did it, so he could do it. Yeah,
definitely. Like Cloverfield kept a lot of its secrets. 10 Cloverfield Lane kept a lot of secrets. I'm trying to think of bigger movies that have been successful, and
I mean, it's really just like the indie movie scene. Not so much. It's just because they can't afford to promote it like these bigger movies. You know, you watch something like, I don't know, like It Follows or The Witch or, I don't know, like even Ex Machina to an extent. I think a lot of people are enjoying indie movies, and maybe it's subconsciously we're just not getting blasted. There's just surprising, you know, they're not expected. Or
like Arrival, for example. Like that's a big concept sci-fi film, but at the same time, you really didn't have, you know, here's clip 10 out of 40 of the film for you to view online.
Definitely.
Or anything like that. It knew what to keep hidden from its audience until you're actually in the theater.
Yeah, that movie definitely did a good job. I couldn't have predicted like that movie, and I think it had a lot of good surprises in it, you know, because I won't spoil anything, but that's a good example.
And it's one thing for like just us, average Joe public, to kind of say like, and then this happens. Oh, but before I say this happens, spoiler and so forth, because at least you have the option to opt out. Whereas there's so much oversaturation of what are those videos I see on my feed sometimes? The ending of such and such explained or whatever.
Or even just like, you know, like The Walking Dead, for example. If you are into that show, you can't binge it later because it'll all get spoiled the second it comes out.
Right.
Like, I don't even go on Facebook. I don't even like the show that much, but I don't want it spoiled. So, like, because if I go on Facebook, if there's a portrait of somebody, you know they're gone. They're a goner. There's just no way around it. Well, because we can read in between the lines.
That's a different side of marketing that I'm not even sure like the big studios were prepared for, is the idea of the down to earth people reacting. reaction vid. Now, it's one thing if they're reacting to like the trailer or something like that, but I've seen videos where people are just, they put the show up in the corner and are just streaming it and reacting to it, and they're just showing.
Who watches
everything.
that stuff?
Yeah, at least do something creative with that. Like, I do my Game of Thrones real-time reaction stuff, but I don't have the whole episode in the bottom corner of the screen to ruin it for you. And I don't flat out say, oh my gosh, they killed so-and-so, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I come up with like
Game of Thrones is hard. That's a hard one. You got to watch that the second it comes out, too.
Yeah. At least with my videos, you just see a dude taking shots and drinking beer and being like, oh shit, or something like that.
And I'm on the West Coast, so you get it 3 hours before me. So that 3 hour pocket, I gotta stay off the computer.
Yeah.
So I gotta not be online from like 5 to 10.
And I'll admit, I feel bad at times because I think either you or someone else who's on West Coast time has been like, thanks a lot, man. Or whatever. I'll be like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
But some people are extra sensitive. I don't know if that was me or not, but it very well could have been, because I've been burnt so many times on shows like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead just by living farther away in a different time zone.
But also, it's not like I'm a repeat offender of that. I'm not the studio too. It's not like I'm saying, hey, here's the clip of someone getting beheaded. Hope you didn't like, or hope you like this character.
It's true. Yeah, it's tough. I think the moral of the story is social media is very dangerous for this kind of stuff, and it's just given these studios, because they probably have to compete with it too. Like, that's why these trailers are coming out so much. They want you to go to their website, not someone's YouTube feed or their Facebook page. They want to get the hits on it.
Yeah.
So there's a weird competition. These studios have to compete with everybody now.
The expansion of social media definitely has opened up opportunities. Like, it's opened up opportunities for us, to pursue our passions and to pursue our interests. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword of, you got to watch where you tread at times. I mean, I know you and I are kind of beyond hope, because when we're doing stuff for Nerd or for McGTV, it's kind of the bread and butter of those sites, is we have to kind of be in the know of, okay, well, this is getting released, here's this announcement and so forth, because it's what the audience expects of us sometimes at this point, and we try to vary it up at least. But well, do you have any advice for laymen any advice for anyone to avoid a lot of this oversaturated marketing?
I mean, my best advice is to realize that people are pretty smart and they can read between the lines, because I think we're in a trend right now where I think people aren't really necessarily aiming to spoil stuff, but they want to sound so coy that they don't think we're going to catch it. Because, I can read between the lines. So if someone's just like, I'm not going to spoil it, but keep an eye out for this. You're like, well, now I know what happened. Like, you just didn't say it flat out, We can read between the lines. Like, if you're going to allude to something, chances are we're going to put 2 and 2 together.
I want to say there is something of a time limit on when it's appropriate to talk about stuff, because things become cultural handshakes. Like,
I mean, there is and there isn't. Like, there's still people like getting into this stuff now that are younger, like younger audiences.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why didn't you watch it when it came out? Because I was 7. It's like some people kind of want to explore this and see it for the first time, but I don't know. It's kind of tough. There's no answer. I don't think. I think it's just people got to just try their best not to be the ones that spoil something, but instead encourage them to watch it just by talking about it.
Right. So, to all my 7-year-old listeners out there who are waiting for the inevitable Citizen Kane reboot, Rosebud is the sled.
It is the sled.
It is a sled. I don't know. If it's a modern day reboot, Rosebud would probably be a Segway or one of those little hoverboard things.
Or those shoes with the little wheels on them that are going to give you back issues in your teens.
Can you imagine someone has Rosebud printed on the sole of that shoe? Somewhere.
Rosebud 2.0.
Yeah, I guess I'd say is be cautious out there, because in this day and age, when studios get desperate for, or filmmakers or whoever is running the shots get desperate for the attention, they want to draw the product in. Typically, sometimes when the product's not really that great, they're going to start to just throw everything at you in order to grab
they want to show you the best footage to get you in there.
Yeah, even if the best footage kind of ruins the only thing you would invest in, probably. But
totally.
Just got to be cautious with it. Yeah, it's so hard. Like, I know Max over on 3 Geeks for a while, like, had a ban on watching trailers and stuff. But I'm like, dude, we do a weekly podcast about geek and movie stuff. I don't know how you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, you kind of have to sacrifice that part of yourself if you want to be relevant.
I hope we can return to just a more streamlined time, I guess. Like, take me back to the time of very minimalist marketing. Like what they did with stuff like Jurassic Park or Terminator stuff before Judgment Day. And
that gives me a good idea. We should maybe pick like one movie every once in a while to agree to not watch anything about it.
You know what? I'm all for that.
Stay away from it like the plague, and then we can talk about it and talk about why we're interested in it before we see anything, and we might be like guessing stuff while they're actually showing it on the trailer. Yeah. But we'll be blind when we go into the theater.
It's so much more fun. That could be interesting to speculate on a property that you haven't seen frame one of yet until you go into the theater. That could
maybe like Thor Ragnarok or something. Like from this point forward, don't watch anything.
There you go.
And then see what happens, because there's a lot of room for that to get spoiled like crazy.
That's gonna be rough, man. That's gonna be hard.
It doesn't have to be Thor Ragnarok, but that would be a good example, because I can see them blasting out like half that movie.
Well, if you want a long-term commitment, if you want to agree to not look at any marketing for Avatar 2, because that's not coming out until like 2046 or whenever.
I don't know if we're gonna be alive when that movie comes out.
So, well,
they waited too long with that one.
Yeah, that Mariana Trench stuff is gonna be amazing.
Like, it just makes me wonder. Like, they wait so long that technology is just gonna get better and better. So even if it's cutting edge today, it's gonna get outdone. You know.
Yeah.
It's like Avatar is like the Duke Nukem of movies.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. I guess it would be.
That's a run for their money. They're waiting so long.
Now, that's worthy of the Blu-ray re-release critical thing on the back.
Yeah.
The Duke Nukem of movies.
If you thought you waited too long for a piece of crap Duke Nukem game, wait till you see this.
I hope we still got what was the name of the Sully fans out there?
Oh yeah.
Hope you still enjoy tail sex. That's all I remember from it, is like his name was Sully and they had sex with their tails.
That's
which,
nice.
Could be interesting. Who knows?
They were blue.
They were blue, and stuff glowed in the dark. Thank you for taking some time out to talk marketing and everything that's wrong with the industry these days.
Except Cloverfield.
Keep Cloverfield. It up. Yeah.
Keep it up, Cloverfield.
I hope they continue with that. I guess it's a franchise now, even though it's more like an anthology series from, like, you just have these stories that have the flimsiest connections to each other, but they still work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I dig it. It's one of my favorite kind of not franchises right now.
Yeah. A franchise of 2 films right now. But
yeah.
Surprise us. Keep surprising us. Bad Robot, right?
Yeah.
They do the production there.
The point is, make movies and don't tell anyone about it until a month before it comes out.
Definitely.
Then we would be excited about movies again.
And if you want to push it further, make movies, don't tell any of the audience, and also don't tell any of the cast and crew that you're making the movie until...
Don't screen it. Just make a train wreck of a movie, and then it'll be too late.
And then just put a lot of pop songs in it.
People just go to the movies to shove popcorn down their throat anyway.
Yeah.
Next time you go to a movie, like when there's a big scene where it like illuminates the theater, look around. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I can't handle it.
Dude, I actually did just a couple of days ago. I went to go see Power Rangers, and I gave you the review for that, which should be up sometime soon.
I got it.
Yeah, cool.
Coming up soon. I'm getting the art tomorrow, so we'll put it up tomorrow probably.
Sweet. So the big, the screen lights up with big energy beams or whatever that happens. I do look around. There's little kids, there's kids with families and stuff, but then there's this one dude, neckbeard dude, in the back row being like, I'm like, oh, cool. I didn't need to see that. All right.
Oh yeah, it's gnarly, man. There's nowhere safe. You go to a movie in public, you got to see that nasty stuff. People just love. They think it's okay too. This dude had a large popcorn, and almost watched him eat it more than the movie because I didn't think he could do it, and he did it, and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
A lot of popcorn to put in your body.
I'm not a popcorn. Like, I'll get a pop, especially if the night before I've done some drinking, and I just need something to balance me out.
If Game of Thrones was on.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll get a pop, a small pop at least, because that's like $5 already. But yeah, I can't do the big tub of popcorn thing anymore. It's
just gnarly. It's not okay. It's not a good display of humanity.
That's what you need to do. In order for me to not go into movies with baggage, display the marketing by the concession stands. Like, have the trailers running by the butter dispenser, because I'll never step near that. Yeah,
I'm with you. I challenge everybody listening. Next time you go to a movie, don't eat anything. You don't need it. Just don't do it.
It's only 2 hours.
You can do it. Eat a nice meal before you go.
Yeah.
And then let it go.
Make yourself a big breakfast, or cook yourself a nice dinner, then go out.
Or just eat a crap ton of popcorn before you get to the theater. I don't care if you want to shove that crap in your body. Just don't do it while you're watching the movie. It bugs me.
That should be our next. That should be our next topic, like movie theater horror stories.
Oh yeah, I could do a whole podcast based off that. I would definitely want to do one like that. I got a lot of stories.
Ooh,
I don't like people.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to poach that for you. That should be a topic for your nerd podcast over at neverendingradicaldude.com.
That's right. Well, we're figuring it out. I'm trying to figure out a creative new formula, so we'll see where it goes. I'm not sure if it's going to be traditional or not.
Cool. Well, I look forward to it, and I look forward to eventually being on it. One of these days, I'm going to get out to the West Coast because I really want to do a Nerd 30 video.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys
we'll do like 1 billion of them. That way I'll just spread them out throughout the whole year.
If you guys are still in good health to do those videos. Cause
we've done about 6 now. There's another one coming soon. It's Star Trek, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, or the old one, the original series. I got 2 people that were pretty heated about that. That's a fun one. It's pretty good.
I highly recommend all the video content over at Never Ending Radical Dude, but especially the Nerd 30. Those crack me up so much.
Those are good. Well, we have 2 out now, and there's plenty more. There's 4 more coming that are already shot, and then I'm recording them as much as I can.
You still doing Pokemon Go?
No, I only did 3 episodes of that, and I only put out 1 because nobody cares about it anymore. So it's I kind of liked having just 1 because it's reflective of how nobody cares. So of course there's only 1 video of that series.
You were very self-aware. It's
like an experiment in news delivery. But
so
I don't know. I have a few more I could put out there, but I don't know. I don't think anyone cares about Pokemon Go anymore.
Nah, probably not. Even if I guess they release new stuff.
More like Pokemon Gone.
Wah wah. Check out more of Jason Furie over at neverendingradicaldude.com. Twitter handle is nerdpoop, right?
That's right.
Yes. And also check out the YouTube channel.
The last handle available with the word nerd in it.
Really? You feel like there'd be some more options? I mean,
like
not
nerd
sensible.
Sausage, maybe. I don't know. I didn't check, but I checked seriously 100 names that were remotely like my website, and it just did not work. And I just got stressed out and wrote nerd poop. It does stick in the mind. Let it go.
It does stick in the mind, I will say.
Sticks in the bowl too.
Whenever I am tweeting something at Nerd Poop, I am on the throne, as it were.
Game of Thrones.
Gross. But so check out neverendingradicaldude.com. Definitely check out the Patreon stuff. I'll put the link again in the description. Yeah. Help support them. Get more stuff out there.
Oh yeah, the more it rolls in, the better equipment we get, the more time I can dedicate to it, and it's a great website. It's a great service, and it really lets me connect with the audience more. There's tons of exclusive stuff, and everyone that donates can talk to me directly on the site itself and give me ideas. And the higher tiers can actually vote on the topics for Nerd 30 episodes or Cooler Than Cooler episodes, and they can actually have input on the content we put out. So it's a really cool formula.
I feel like that's even the more fun aspect is you don't know what they're going to come up with, and so you're oh my god, okay, fine, we'll do that.
Almost more than money, I just want more patrons so I can start interacting and building the community. I want people, I have about 16 people that have supported us so far. So, and the polling is, I think, at the $5 tier. So I don't really have a lot of people at that level, so I don't have a lot, the more people we get doing that kind of stuff, the better the site's going to get.
Definitely check out more of that stuff. Check out some more videos over at the Rad Nerds YouTube site, and more videos over here at Mike McG TV. Just did a Power Rangers thing, did a couple of Guilty Pleasure Treasures. Be putting up a new series dedicated more to literature and graphic novels and books. So nice. Stay tuned for that. And also follow me on Twitter at Mike McG TV. Thanks so much, Jason.
Of course. My pleasure.
See y'all later.
Peace.